Hi, Margaret. Do you have a favorite sewing hack or tip?
How to sew hexagons seamlessly, painlessly. So this is almost the smallest hexagon you can cut with this ruler. And this is larger than what the ruler will accommodate, so I created the big shape. And I'm cutting up all my floral and bird scraps to make a flower garden with this ruler.
And it's just with that ruler, huh?
Yes.
Nice.
So the trick is you sew triangle on one side at the bottom and the other side at the top, and then the straight seam goes this way. So there's no Y seams.
Wow.
So that's how they get sewn together. So when I sew the triangle for this, it will be this, and this creates the triangle to sew these guys together.
Got it. Nice.
So you're never sewing a Y seam.
Got it.
Even though it looks like that's what you'd have to do.
Thank you.
This is my favorite ruler, the Hexenmore ruler. I've used it for many quilts, and it freaks some people out, the whole idea of cutting with this ruler, and I'm happy to show you how to use it. I'm going to cut the largest hexagon that the ruler makes.
Okay.
Okay?
So where are you lining your fabric?
Straight of grain is across the hemisphere. So I'm looking at the straight of grain, I'm looking at where the selvage is.
Okay.
That's the bottom of the hexagon. That's 8.5 inches, the largest that it makes.
Okay.
And that line, with that measure, it'll need to get trimmed because this isn't quite straight.
Right.
Sarah, what are you making?
Nothing in particular. Just learning how to use this fabulous ruler, actually.
So if I'm going to cut a triangle to go with this one, then I need to look at, since I cut that at 8.5, I would use the largest triangle, which happens to be 4.5. They've already done the math.
Got it.
Oh, for that one.
So the triangle would butt up to here.
Yeah, I'm going to cut one for you.
Okay, so you line it up with the 4.5.
So the 4.5 goes with 8.5. Largest triangle goes with the largest hexagon.
Got it.
And what's nice about this, there's no point on here because it's...
That's
No.
right.
No, because it'll match up with the seam.
Which is really
It's
nice.
very handy. But you can see that the lines on the, I'm going to move this over so I can trim that off. You can see that the solid lines are where you line up on the ruler. So the 4.5 inch triangle goes with the 8.5 inch hexagon. So she did a good job of designing the rulers. And for those who did Nebula, which is the joint project between Jaybird and Tula Pink, they used not just this ruler, but also a ruler called Sidekick, which we also have in the shop.
Is that by the same person?
Yeah, it's a Jaybird ruler. So, if I wanted to sew these together, this is how it would line up. So you've got your little triangle that
Okay, one side is going to hang off, and the other side.
is going to match up.
Got it.
So when I sew that, I'll pin it so you can see. Then I drafted that huge one. So you can see. So you end up with a nice straight line.
That is really cool. So essentially I can make a bunch of these 8.5 hexies, a bunch of these 4.5 triangles, put them all together and eventually just,
You have a nice quilt.
yeah. Thank you. That is awesome. And then how would I cut this tiny one?
There's two of them.
Well, it's what you do is you look for the solid line here. Since I'm Scottish, I don't want to waste too much fabric. So I've got myself a nice straight edge there. That's the thing you're looking for, is straight grain is that way, and the angles line up. So I've got my flat one there and my straight one there. That looks pretty clean. Find where it's going to leave you a triangle to cut off.
Got it.
So you just move it around, line everything up, and if everything lines up, you've done a good job of cutting.
And I see it also makes this jewel type.
You can also do that,
Shape also?
and she has patterns. The Jaybird has patterns that use the jewel shape too.
So this ruler can make hexagons, jewels, and triangles.
And triangles.
Wow.
Yep.
That is really cool. And apparently rhombuses.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. There's lots of different things you can play with this ruler.
Four and a half hexie and a
2.5 inch.
2.5 inch triangle.
Yep.
And that's how you lay out your pattern.
That's how it gets sewn together.
Now, so you sew each triangle on the hexie. Are these considered Y seams or?
No, they're just regular
Regular
seams.
seams, okay.
No, why? The way that a lot of hexagon quilts were done previously is you'd have to use a Y seam. But these you've got just straight seams.
Okay. Nice. That's super easy.
And
And
so-
beautiful.
So if this was, so sometimes when you end up at the end of a row, you end up actually, probably,
Someone threw away their salvage. Yeah.
you could trim it off like that.
Oh, okay, got it. Cut right here.
Mhm.
And there's your end.
Yep.
Okay, okay. And you sew roll, and then each row, and then roll to each other.
Yep.
Okay. Very nice.
But then I've made it more complicated. Drafted one that's not done by the ruler. I've drafted a big one.
For like a focal point.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the,
What size would you say this is?
14.
14 inches.
oh, it,
It works with those, you need 2 of them to cover each side.
Mm-hmm. And so I'll play with this until I get it to all work.